Alright, so Shao and Sindel's bios. Now, a few of you guys asked me, or commented rather, why haven't you covered like X person's bio or this person's bio? And it wasn't intentional or anything, it's just that these were the type of things that I thought maybe didn't warrant their own video, but something like this where it's these two characters together, which they actually were revealed on the same day, and they have stories that do intertwine, especially in the actual story mode. So we can do some speculation here. And especially with General Shao being such a hot topic because of his new like dragon look and the potential ties that has to Onaga. This is very fun stuff to talk about, right? So for those that commented about the bio videos, here we are. And for those that didn't, then extra video for you, I suppose. So let's go ahead and talk about these. We can start with Sindel and then we'll go ahead and tackle Shao. I actually do love the way Sindel looks in MK1. I think that they've kind of nailed making her look like she should look. You know, royalty, like elegant almost. She also does look like Kitana and Melina's mother, which is of course plus points for that as well. On this specific render, she has like this weird gold crown thing, or excuse me, silver crown thing, and I think it's kind of ugly. Like it's fine, but I think I do prefer her without the crown on, or whatever you want to call this. I do think it is a crown. And then she has like these shoulder pads, which are kind of weird as well. She doesn't actually have these in the reveal trailer, I don't think so. So definitely gonna have different gear and skins, of course. Okay, so the Empress of Outworld. When Sindel ascended to Outworld's throne, she worried that she was ill-prepared. Adding to her stress, her impending arranged marriage to Jared, an Outworld noble, forced into it to placate, I think that's how you say that, a rebellious region. Sindel could only pray that he was worthy. To Sindel's delight, Jared proved an ideal partner. Her early reign marked the start of a new golden age. Sindel then welcomed her beautiful twin daughters Melina and Kitana. She thanked the gods for her charmed life. Okay, so that's good. See, Sindel is actually having a good life. I mean, so far. We do know what happens to Jared, you know, unfortunately. I'm sorry, Sindel. But Sindel had counted her blessings too quickly, yeah, unfortunately. When Jared was murdered, Sindel's heart was broken. Smelling weakness, factions formed to challenge her rule. Damn, that is kind of tough. That does make a lot of sense, not only in like the context of Mortal Kombat where different races do reside within Outworld, because you know, Adenia and Outworld are pretty much the same now, but also within like actual royalty and stuff like that. When wars are ongoing or different civilizations and different races want to actually battle against each other, like in ancient times and stuff like that, they do wait for those like focal points, so they try and get them in weak spots, right? And so that is very realistic and unfortunate. I do feel for Sindel here. As her enemies conspire, Sindel fights to protect her family and her empire, so she is still going strong, of course. You go, girl. She will do whatever it takes to defend her daughter's birthright. So I'm pretty sure birthright means like what, that they get the throne next, like their royalty, and they have they're next in line to the throne. Is that what that means? I'm kind of dumb, but I think that's what that means. So she wants to make sure that Melina and Kitana can thrive in life and actually have that royalty bestowed upon them. I think that's what that's saying. So yeah, again, this is good. I'm happy that she's not evil, at least as of right now. It doesn't seem like she's going to become evil. I would really hate if that's the case. She's actually like opposing Shao, or Shao is opposing her. So you can tell that whenever this corruption is starting within Outworld and people want to actually create like a war between Outworld and other forces, which is what Shao directly wants to do with Earthrealm, of course. Sindel is not having any of that. Step back in line. Who the hell do you think you are? You know, like, who's your queen, like the fatality does say. Amazing fatality, by the way. So I do love this for Sindel. I think her loving her daughters is how it should be. Again, 3D era Sindel, the original Sindel is supreme, the GOAT, the best Sindel, MK9 Sindel, and then like MK11 Sindel. Although iconic, I think in a lot of ways, like that character has always been, like Sindel has always had a big presence whenever she's reintroduced, of course. That's never been able to fail with her. But I do think that her being a loving mother who sticks up for herself and her family is something I much prefer over her being like, no, actually I love Shao Kahn. My husband was murdered. I think that was kind of fire. I think that was kind of hot. I don't think that that's a good trope for Sindel. Anyway, Sindel, I like it. I do like it. And now we come to Big Daddy Shao. I actually got myself into some hot water with the way I interpreted this, so I will discuss that after we read it. But General Shao does have a very interesting bio. Shao is a general. He is the general of Outworld's army. We do know this, and we know that there are several people under his anyone with this like red armor does appear to be under his army, of course. So like Reiko, even Baraka is an ex-member of the army, according to an intro that they had in the Kombat cast. So it does seem that basically any strong man, I guess, in Outworld has the potential to be on the army, right? Even Goro is a part of it as well. So very interesting, right? Very interesting stuff. Born into a proud military family, Shao was expected to become a soldier, but he was a sickly child who, though brilliant and eager, had an infirm body. So Shao always had, he always strived for things, right? Shao was not struggling in his mind or in his actual his actual passion, but he struggled in his sickly little Victorian boy body. That's where he was having a hard time, right? Let me move this over. Is that good? Okay, that's good. But yeah, that's where he struggled, right? He was not fit to actually fight. And his father actually did something about this. So Shao's disability infuriated his father. His father was not okay with that. He dismissed his son's physicians, basically telling them that they don't know better than he does and they're not helping them, and designed an extreme program to build his son's strength and endurance. Okay, so now I'll talk about it after this, but I do have a lot of thoughts on this. Years of toil molded Shao into a physical colossus, and you can tell on the left that this render is actually very disgustingly ugly. I don't know why they chose this pose for him. His like right arm, like on our left, but his right arm is like really ugly, like pointed back, like his shoulder isn't up or something. I don't know. This render is really bad, but anyway, he is a big man and forged within him an iron will. And as his father had promised, Shao became the perfect soldier, okay? His brilliant tactics and his relentless effort won Outworld many victories and him much fame. So like I said, me and JD actually did a podcast episode recently where Shao did have a big presence in that. If you guys want to watch that, it will be linked in the description. But Shao basically, he is very famous within Outworld, and it does seem that he's one of the type of people who want to obtain this. Obtain, that is not the right word. He wants to uphold this. He wants to keep this. He wants to keep that fame. He does remind me a lot of like Homelander so far. And again, this is all up to my interpretation. This isn't like factually stated or anything, but for example, when you see Shao killing Ungari guards, like why would he be doing that? My opinion is that he's doing something like this because he wants to keep his image intact. So for example, if he finds out that Melina has Tarkat, he's like, oh no, I'm the general for her army. Like, that's not good. That's not a good look on me that I'm protecting somebody with Tarkat. So he wants to go kill the Ungadi guards to get to Melina or something like that. That's the way I look at it. So he does remind me of Homelander, where he'll do anything, kill anyone, be extremely selfish to keep this perfect, squeaky clean, God, that's a mouthful, squeaky clean image in the public's eye. And I think that that's exactly what they kind of have going with Shao here, from my own interpretation. Though General Shao is sworn to serve the Empress, Sindel of course, his loyalty is to Outworld. We do know this from the trailer. If Sindel's rule ever endangers Outworld, he will be the first to try and end it. So we actually see this firsthand in the trailer, right? Where if Sindel is doing something that he doesn't agree with or he thinks is bad for Outworld, so in this case it's being loyal to Liu Kang, he's like, no girl, that is not chill, I'm not having a good time with this. I think I'm actually going to kill innocent Outworlders and kill innocent Earthrealmers, because that's the type of energy I'm on. That's exactly what Shao's basically saying, right? He seems to not believe Outworld should be like contained or be altered by exterior people or exterior factors. He wants Outworld to have this perfect image, this perfect strong independence. Kind of reminds me of Bihan and how Bihan wants the Lin Kuei to be, whereas the Lin Kuei right now is very loyal to Earthrealm and does things for Earthrealm. Bihan wants it to have its own individuality and to rule as one of its own nations in Earthrealm. So Shao's kind of very similar in that sense. So again, I do really like this bio, I do really enjoy it. I think it also can maybe tie into what I was saying about Liu Kang and Shang Tsung, where there is a chance that those malefactors that Liu Kang tried to negate includes Shao and Shang Tsung. So he maybe made Shao have this sickly body, or have him be born to a father who was again, I don't want to say abusive. That's where I kind of got myself into some hot water, like I said earlier. I do want to clear that up, right? So in my recent podcast episode with JD, I did make some leaps in judgment, some leaps in logic. Yeah, that's the right term. to say that Shao was actually abused and beaten. That is not stated anywhere, and I do apologize for saying that. I do that a lot, I do, where I take a character's story and I perceive it some way in my mind and I build upon it in my imagination, and then sometimes I think about that so much that that becomes canon to me, and I know that isn't right and that isn't good, especially if I'm doing content on a game, so I do want to apologize about that. But to be fair, it is the way that I perceived this bio, and I didn't like recheck this bio before doing that video with JD, right? So in my mind, I imagine him being beaten and being abused by his father to become a strong soldier. So in my mind, I thought that that was true, but I didn't actually come back to this to read it and realize that that wasn't true, and it was something I built up in my mind. So I do want to apologize about that. But also to that point, right, that is something I do a lot, and I don't think it's necessarily bad. I never do it with the intention of spreading misinformation to you guys or anything. It's just sometimes that I use those types of headcanons to emphasize things and to make a character have a deeper story than what they might actually have. For example, I do this with Shujinko a lot, where I say that Shujinko was this gifted martial artist who's like an insane prodigy who can learn from everybody and anybody. And that's not actually stated or anything, but since Shujinko can train with all these different people and learn from them over the course of conquest mode, I've had the personal headcanon that he is an extremely talented martial artist who can adapt to anything and be a prodigy. That was the way that I perceived Shujinko, and that's how I've kind of presented him to people over the years, because that's, again, my interpretation of the character. So maybe I should work on doing that. I just wanted to clear that up because I know some people weren't happy with me saying that, so I do apologize. But anyway, with that out of the way, it does seem that his father did basically work very hard on him. I'm not going to say abused, even though that is the way that I interpreted it. An extreme program to build his son's strength and endurance. Okay, he even dismissed his son's physicians, which we don't know if those were wrong or right. I'm assuming that with Outworld and like Adenia in the new era, that they do have some actual very talented doctors that were able to, analyze his condition. Again, his father could be Onaga, that is my current theory, and would actually make sense. I think because he's like this huge, strong, independent general person, leader of the dragon race probably, and it would make sense that he wants his son to be this strong warrior, right? It would make a lot of sense to me. But there is also some other things we have to keep in mind here, like how did Shao, or not how did Shao, but like did Shao kill General, oh my god, I cannot speak today. Did Shao kill King Jared? Did he kill him? And if not, like who killed King Jared, right? So there is still a chance that Shao did kill King Jared, or Shao did kill Onaga in this timeline, and these things happened just in very different circumstances than they did in the original timeline. So do keep that stuff in mind, because Shao is very different in this timeline. He isn't a Kahn, he is a general for Outworld, but it doesn't mean that he isn't doing anything that is corrupted. It doesn't mean he's not doing anything that causes issues in these realms. So he could very well have killed his father Onaga, or he very well could have still killed King Jared. So do keep these things in mind. But yes, that is Sindel and Shao's bio. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and my speculation. If you haven't already and you want to be a part of the community, then make sure to join the Discord. That will be linked in the description. And yeah, with that said, make sure you all stay safe and stay hydrated. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.